Exactly.
Hi, Papa here. The last video I did was about the compost pile and maggots. The flies in the ointment, that which is rotten in Denmark. Yeah. And so this is just a quick addendum to that video. So let's take a look. Okay, there's last year's compost pile. I'm spreading it out so that it'll dry. It's completely composted. There's nothing there but composted material. No smell. I talked about when we had a spell of rainy, cool weather, we got maggots in our compost pile, and that certainly did happen. I started spraying ant and roach spray on the material to prevent that. Now I think I realize what actually caused the maggots to be able to prosper. And we do not want maggots to prosper, do we? I was putting pure compost 2 years ago, compost right there on the pile, and that's all I was putting on the pile. Well, apparently that created structural holes, cavities, interstices that the flies use to go into the pile in order to lay their eggs. Now I realize that it's the grass clippings that protect against maggot development. So let's look at this pile here. This is this year's compost pile, and it's totally covered with grass clippings. The reason I think grass clippings work is, number one, they mat down and create a pretty much a barrier that these bugs, these flies, these deer flies, these house flies, whatever, can't get through. They also generate heat as they are composting very rapidly. Like the day that you pile the clippings up, they start getting hot, and that's a composting process. So it begins a composting process. That heat may deter bugs, I don't know. But at any rate, I think putting grass clippings on your compost pile is the answer to keeping the maggots out. Number one, keep the solid and the liquid together always. Number two, when you dump onto your compost pile, put grass clippings on the top. We have a self-propelled mower and about, 3/4 of an acre, maybe 2/3 of an acre that we mow, and so we got plenty of grass clippings. In the fall and winter, it doesn't matter as much. You can put last year's or year before last compost on it. You can put leaves on it because the bugs aren't a problem then. So I hope this helps all you guys that are doing this. We've been doing it for 5 years, straight for 5 years, and the total of our total compost infrastructure is here. So we got the right now compost pile that we're dumping on. This is a few months ago compost pile. Here's last year's compost pile. It's composted and I'm spreading it out so it can dry. And here's year before last compost pile, which I've used most of that already for compost. One more thing. If you use pine straw on your compost pile, maybe not a good idea because the pine straw doesn't rot very well, and it really binds the compost together, and it's hard to separate, kind of like cob. Pine straw is great if you're making a cob structure, but putting it in your compost pile, I think, doesn't work so good. So anyway, that's the maggot message for today. Pop out.